Hey, everybody, welcome back to Falling in Love with Failure. I have on today my friend Ed Simmerer. He is the life coach of changing hearts and minds. He is been a friend of mine for many years now, and I'm not gonna get into any details like normal. Ed, please give it away who you are, what you do, and yeah, just feel free to talk about whatever you want, man.
Hey Max, thanks a lot. Really excited to be here with you today talking about this. In October of 2025, so that was several months ago now, I started my own business, Changing Hearts and Minds Catholic Life Coaching LLC, because I was looking for something that I could do to help people kind of figure out their lives. I was teaching philosophy before that. I was actually in a seminary, actually with you in a
Yeah.
Catholic seminary. We were both studying to become Catholic priests. Then, when that didn't work out, I was trying to I wanted to save souls. I wanted to help people, and I was trying to find a way that I could do that, but now as a layman in the secular world. And I was thinking, okay, there's got to be some kind of a way that I can, use the experience that I've gained, use the knowledge that I've learned, and to be able to work with people. And so I thought maybe teaching is the way to do it. So I was teaching for a while, then I actually got too sick to continue teaching, so I had to quit. So that was kind of a blessing in disguise because then I had this opportunity to, kind of take some time off. And then I heard about this thing called life coaching, and I was like, that sounds exactly what I've been trying to figure out how to do. I just didn't have a name for it.
Gotcha.
So I found out that such a thing as life coaching existed. So I looked into it a little bit. I took a course with an organization called Professional Christian Coaching Institute. And so they taught me the method. There is a specific method of life coaching. It's not telling people how to live their lives, it's helping people figure out how they want to live their lives. So there are a lot of people out there who call themselves life coach, but it's an unregulated term. So they might be serious life coaches or they might just be calling themselves life coaches. Now, I'm not certified yet, but I am working towards my certification with the International Coaching Federation. And they're like the gold standard for life coaching. They have a method, it's pretty rigorous. You have to learn it, you have to follow it. But it's super cool because it's similar to like the Socratic method, where you don't tell people stuff, you just keep asking them questions to help them figure it out. So we say in life coaching that I'm not trying to tell you what to do in your life. I'm trying to help you do what you want to do because I'm not the expert in your life. So I don't know what you should do in your life. You're the expert in your life. So you have to figure out what you want to do in your life, but I can help you figure that out. So that's life coaching. And it's growing a little bit. But I'm also working on some things on the side, like I'm teaching online courses. So I'm actually this summer, we're starting on June 4th. I'm teaching a logic course. So that's coming up. And people, if they want to take the logic course, June 4th, 2026 to September 17th, 2026, they can sign up today at changingheartsandminds.com.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you made that distinction with life coaching because you are right. A lot of people throw that term around. And the idea of you don't tell people what to do. You you basically the soundboard and the reasoning behind or the the one who's gonna hopefully give the kind of thoughts and questions that you can then come to your own answers for things. And that's a great distinction because I know a lot of people are inclined to get into some form of coaching, but the temptation is that you're basically just going to start talking at people. You're just going to like tell them how you see life. So that's an awesome distinction. We have the three questions with this interview, and we're just gonna go through each one as you know as natural. So the first one is, what is your personal key to success?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this one and I've been trying to narrow it down. And because yeah, I mean, gosh, I think I could talk about this like for all day long. So I'm gonna try to limit it to the time that's given. I came down to like 3 words, and then I was actually able to narrow that down to 1 word. Okay, so you ready? So maybe I'll give you like the 1 word and then show how it breaks down into 3 words and then break those down.
Yeah, I like
What
that.
do you
Yeah.
think? Okay. Okay, so I think the key to success, or maybe we could say my personal, the way I see it, my key to success is I would say in 1 word, determination. And um, I think everybody knows what determination means, right?
Yeah.
But for me, determination means 3 things. First of all, determination means well, let me just put them into 3 words. So first, judgment. Second, um, you could say confidence, and then number 3, perseverance. So now what's the association? So determination determination has like these 3 different meanings for me. And the first one is the weighing of options. You have to determine, should I go with this or should I go with that?
Okay.
So that's what I would call this making of a judgment. And then the second one is, okay, I have determined this is the option I'm going to go with. So that the kind of determination of making a choice, right? Choosing to do that, having that confidence to do that.
Okay.
And then the third one, having the determination to follow through.
That's excellent.
And
Okay.
that's that perseverance.
Yes.
Okay. And the super, super cool thing about these 3 meanings of determination is they correspond to our 3 human powers, our human faculties, the intellect, the will, and the passions. So the intellect is for making judgments,
Yes.
right? Thinking about, right, determining what should I do? What's my goal? Clarifying the goal. Thinking about what are my options? How can I see where I'm supposed to be going? And that's also in life coaching, that's huge because we help people to clarify the goal. Where are we going? Right.
Yeah.
And then number 2, determination also means this making of a choice, right? Which is this choosing, and that corresponds to the will. And the will is that thing that chooses and loves. And then finally, number 3, determination also means this perseverance. So that's the passions. When the intellect has thought about what we're going to do, the will chooses, then the passion is kicking it into action. And that's how we can then persevere and have that even emotional ability to follow through.
That is great. That is great. When you said you had the 3 words in 1 word, I wasn't expecting that they would be tied together so well. Like that is really that is really well put. I love that because when I ask this question, time and time again, it seems to be that the answer in some way will be that you really do just have to stick with it. But sticking with it is more or less difficult depending on the person having to try to do something, right? Like they're where they are in life, who they are, and everything. And when you break it down like how you just did, of it is fundamental to every person that determination can be applied to your 3 powers. I think that makes it accessible for everybody. Like that makes it's understandable because if you're somebody who struggles with uh, depression or burnout or whatever, you're going to look at life in a certain way and say, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't persevere with this, or I can't see this answer, or whatever." But if you're able to say, "No, no, no," it's all about determination, either breaking it down with your intellect, going after with your will, persevering with your passions, and making that relate to that specific person. That's excellent. That's awesome, man. That's great. You're right. We could talk about that for a very long time,
Yeah.
but let's go to the next question. But I love that answer you just gave. The second question is, what is your personal relationship with failure? Particularly, I know you personally have suffered a lot from a variety of ailments or whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
speak to all that.
Yeah. So I think that um yeah, failure, it's an emotionally charged word. And I think in this modern world, we're so fixated on, you've got to succeed, you've got to be successful. You don't want to be a failure, right? But I would actually kind of question that. What is success? What is failure anyway? I would say that, most of the time when people say, like what is success, they usually mean like a monetary success. Like, if I can make my company into $100,000 company, would that be success? What if I made it into $1 million company? Would that be success? $200 million, a lot of people, they make a ton of money. They're very successful financially, but their relationships are a failure. Their marriage is a failure. They fail to be a good moral human being. So just the financial success is not enough to measure success. We really have to find something that we can measure all of the different ways that a human being can find success. The overarching human flourishing, happiness, right? And so I would say that if we say you're working on, making all the money, right? You want to start a career, you want to start a business, and then your business fails. Well, that's only one failure. It doesn't mean that you've failed in being a good person or that you've failed to reach happiness. So I would say the I would even say this sounds crazy, but I would say failure is not failure. The failure is if we don't grow because failures are going to
Wow.
happen. Like in coaching, I work with people and they say, I've got all these problems. And I'm like, okay, good. So those are problems. What do you see as the solution? Clarify the goal. What is it that we're striving for? And they're like, I don't know. I've got all these problems. I can't do that. And I'm like, okay, right. Problem. You got problems. I've got problems. We've all got problems. We're always going to have problems, right? In this life, we're never going to get away from problems. We're always going to have them. There are always going to be trials. There are always going to be failures. So I guess I would say that failure is not failure. It's failure if we don't reach happiness. The problems aren't the problem. The problem is if we don't grow. The problem is if we don't find solutions to those problems. The problem is if we don't persevere. So failure and problems, they're not the issue. It's if we don't persevere. It's if we don't continue to keep going. The real problem, the real failure is giving up. So like you said earlier, you got to stick at it. So I guess um who was it? I think Steve Jobs, he said, you know, fail early and fail often because you're going to fail anyway. So don't be afraid of it. And that's where I would also bring in that confidence, right? What is confidence? Confidence is, I like to say confidence is this kind of ability to know without knowing,
Yeah.
because you have to kind of make a risk. You have to jump a little bit out where, like I'm 90% sure that I could do this, but I'm not really completely sure. So I don't know completely that I can do something, but I know good enough, that I could do it. So that's that confidence where you kind of jump that gap. It's not like like a leap of faith. In fact, the word confidence, confido, has the word faith in it. So
Okay.
it's like confidence, you have to sort of just like make that leap of faith to say, well, I don't know if this is going to be a success or not, but I think it is.
It,
And and at the end of the day, are we going to be happy or not? Um, we keep thinking that happiness is like something in the future. But if we always think that happiness is in the future, well, then we're never going to be happy. So we're not going to be happy if we can just get rid of all of our failures and get rid of all of our problems and get rid of all of our trials, sufferings. No, we need to start being happy now, even in spite of all those sufferings and failures. Again, failure, think of our Lord Jesus Christ. Um, in the eyes of the world, he was the biggest failure ever because, the apostles thought, oh, he's going to become this great king and, um, bring back the kingdom and kick the Romans out. And then, they caught him and killed him. And, the disciples on the road to Emmaus, they're like, man, that was a big failure. We thought all of these great things, but they didn't realize that wasn't the point. So I guess I would say my relationship with failure and success is, what is the point? What is the point of my life? And if even if I'm a failure in one thing, well, maybe you need to reassess, right? Judgment, confidence, perseverance. I might need to say, well, that thing that I was working on, it didn't work. Okay, I'm a failure in that regard, but that doesn't mean that I'm a failure to become a good person or I'm a failure to be happy.
I'm very glad that you specify that because you are right. Failure is associated mostly with a monetary failure. And the idea of being happy, I love how you said it, that if happiness is always something we're striving to be like to go to, but we're not at yet, then we're never going to be happy because it's always away from us. And if I just make more money or if I get rid of these problems or stop messing up at this, then I'll be happy. And it's different. Happiness is something that is present now. And that's the goal you should be getting. I actually just saw a story today. I'm forgetting his name, but the co-founder of Elf, which is it's a cosmetic beauty store. He started multiple companies, multi-billion dollar companies. He's a very wealthy person, and he gave all of his money to charity and is becoming a Catholic priest. He's going to be ordained, I believe, on the 23rd of next month, I
Really?
think, or this month.
Wow.
Yeah, and he attested all to our Blessed Mother
Wow.
for that. But this is somebody who had millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he himself says he was miserable.
Yeah.
So he was
Wow.
just his life was vapid. It was just like devoid of anything meaningful, and that's where what you just said comes in. That you can't be trying to always reach after happiness, particularly with something like money. And money's great. Don't get me wrong. Like you can do stuff with money. That's cool. Uh, but it being the answer to your life, that is great. And failure, when you look at it that way, then failure is just like it's part of the process, and it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
so. Yeah.
fantastic. Now, to anybody listening to you that is your stories resonated with them, what would be your advice to them for their success?
Yeah, I would say have that confidence. Um, and and what is confidence? Confidence is, I think it's kind of overhyped and people kind of use that word a lot, but I don't think they really know what confidence means. Confidence isn't it's not it's not something that's fake, right? It's not like for show. No, confidence actually comes from experience and knowledge. If you have the experience that you have done something like this before and you have knowledge, you know how to do it, then you're going to have confidence that you know how to do it. Like a violinist, a solo violinist who goes up and performs on a stage. Well, that violinist, um, if that violinist has done it a million times before, then he or she knows, well, I can do this. I've got the confidence. I've done it a million times before. And actually this judgment is rolled up into this too, because I think confidence is this kind of a judgment where you make this kind of estimation of, can I do that or not? And what I think a lot of people don't understand about this is it's actually a choice that we make, right? That's why I put confidence in the will, because we actually have to, we make that judgment, right, in the intellect of, I don't know, can I do this? And we make judgments based upon our past experiences. So if we had enough experience and enough knowledge in a certain area, then we can kind of make this judgment of, yeah, I think I can do that. Well, actually, I'm not really sure. Well, I'm like 95%. I don't know. Maybe I'm only like 90% sure. Maybe I'm only 85% sure. But at some point, the will has to jump in and choose and say, well, you know what? I might only be 75% sure, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to decide to be sure. And
Great.
and that's kind of what I mean, that it's like knowing without knowing. It's this kind of leap of faith. And, starting my own company was a little bit scary. And a lot of the things we do in this life are a little bit scary, but you've got to, you got to jump in, you got to try it. Um, Otherwise, we're never going to reach happiness. In fact, the failures are going to come. And if we're afraid of failing, well, then we've already failed. So it's almost like it's not an option. We have to jump out. We have to have confidence. We have to go do things. We can't just stay in our shell all the time. So I would like to say to people, do the right thing and don't feel bad about it. Because I think so many people, they might even know the right thing to do. They're like, I think I should do this, but they're scared because they feel the peer pressure. They somebody else told them like, oh no, you shouldn't do that because you'll never succeed. And so then they have this like fear of, well, I know I should do this. I know I should try to do this. It would be really worth it. It would be a good thing to do, but I'm kind of something's holding me back. I'm kind of scared. So yeah, with life coaching people, sometimes it's pretty clear they know the thing that they want to do. And it's like, okay, well, what's holding you back? And they're like, well, I feel bad about doing that. And I'm like, look, if you're doing the right thing, don't feel bad about it. Right? I'm not saying just, go out there and be obnoxious and do things and, don't feel bad about it. But no, if you're doing the right thing, don't feel bad about it. If you're doing the wrong thing, okay, stop. Stop doing the wrong thing. Do the right thing. But you don't have to have any emotion in that. You don't have to feel bad, right? So that's why I would really encourage people, okay, use your intellect, make a judgment. What do I need to do? What's the right thing? Okay, and once you figure that out, then have that confidence, have that leap of faith, make that choice and say, I'm going to do that. And then number three, persevere, passion. That's when you get that giddy up. A lot of people think that passion is bad or something. No, passion's not bad. Passion's a tool. It's there to help us. The problem is when people live on the level of passion and they don't get the intellect and the will involved. So they just kind of one day the passion's telling them to do this, the other day passion's telling them to do that. And that's literally what it means to be a slave to your passions. So I would really tell people, think about what you need to do, choose to do it, choose strongly, and then kick it into gear with that passion. And that's going to be your intellect, your will, passions, judgments, confidence, perseverance. And I think we can sum that all up in the word determination.
Oh, that was a great rap. That was awesome. That is excellent. What you said about confidence and how it's not something you make up, it's something that's built through experience and action. That's great because I know from my own life that there's so much that we're not doing because we're scared to do it, purely because we don't know what the outcome is. Something as simple as I know this is something people struggle with, asking for a discount at a coffee shop.
Really?
That's a pretty common one, I think.
Oh, really?
Is
Huh.
is that a very large group of people, or a lot of the population, they're they don't like confrontation to the point of they're afraid of the rejection of somebody saying, no, I'm not going to give you a
Yeah.
discount randomly. And if you go out, and it's one thing to go out and just say, I'm going to do it because I'm just going to fake it till I make it. That works, particularly when you realize after a while, wait a second, this isn't a problem. It's experience.
Yes.
You just keep going after
Yes.
it that way. And confidence, and if you can build confidence in this arena, it spreads to other arenas.
Yeah.
I've found. So if you get very confident to speaking to people out in public, then you'll get the confidence more to ask for that raise
Mhm.
or to ask for this this girl out, if you're a guy, if you're a dude looking to go on a date, something like that. But confidence is not fake it till you make it. Maybe the very first time is, but it's a process. So that's awesome. I love that. Um, before we wrap up, I really love the fact that you're doing your own life coaching. It's excellent. I was looking at your site. It's beautiful, Healing Hearts and Minds, and the whole name is Healing Hearts and Minds,
Changing.
Catholic Life. Oh, sorry,
Changing hearts and minds. Yep.
Changing Hearts and Minds. My bad. Uh, Catholic Life Coaching LLC.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And what is the best way for people to connect with you?
They can connect with me through the website, changingheartsandminds.com.
Okay. Fantastic, man. We'll have a little bit more to talk about wrapping up the recording, but everybody, thank you very much for watching. This is Ed Simmerer, Catholic life coach. Thank you so much for being on today, man. God
Thanks
bless
a lot,
everybody.
Max. Appreciate it.